Hello. I just wanted to say thank you first of all to all the very kind positive comments from my 40th birthday skydiving video. I appreciate that. I just thought we'll do a little react to something that is of interest to me. Flawless recommended this video. This guy, Scalagrim, talks about weapons, and I think he's going to go over the practicality of some of the fantasy weapons that we've seen in video games. And you can see him holding Frostmourne here. So, overthinking fantasy, Keyblade, Frostmourne, Dante's Rebellion, etc. Fantasy weapons in real life, is it practical? I think we know the answer, but let's find out.
Okay, Keyblade. I've talked about the problems before, and yeah, it's very apparent when you actually hold it. So here's the problem, right? You can't hold it the way you normally would.
You wouldn't be able to...
Because
Yep.
it hits your wrist there. So that doesn't really work. So ideally you would hold it like this, but then this also doesn't work because look where it's pointed.
Sideways.
So it kind of, you would have to rotate the whole thing like this. Then it works, and you can use it that way. Not that you really need the guards as much here as you do there. But yeah, I've talked about that before. Like if you chopped off this side, it's perfectly usable. But like this,
What's with the little ball chain at the back there? That's just such a weird little addentum. What is going on with that?
there are some problems. And then there's a chain. The Gonad Whacker 9000. That's the height. That's
Oh
literally
no.
the height that we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Shouldn't I be?
I mean, yes, you should also be concerned. That's a classic version. This one is a bit longer, so this goes right past for the most part.
This
It's
feels
a bit
tiny
safer.
since you just made it for the Regama video.
Oh, hang on. Ah, we can fix it. There we go. Now it works.
That looks
Now
like
you
a
can,
man's
do things
crutches,
with
but upside down. If you flipped it up, you'd be able to lean on them.
And you don't break your wrist. Now it's a weapon. And now that actually kind of works. Like, it's basically an axe. Sort of. Now we're in the what the
Oh,
hell
wow,
territory.
wow. Doesn't that just stand out? Look at that. Immediately. Got to get me one of those.
Frostmourne, I feel like you have to be undead to be able to use it, because there's literally spikes on it. It's not for a fleshy human hand. That needs a scaly hand. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the comfortable handling. Not how I would put it. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I assume the weight is higher on that one.
oh yeah, quite a bit. And the discomfort is very high. If you feel like such a badass that you want to give your opponent a chance to defeat you, there you go. I guess the good thing about that is it's not super top heavy because a lot of the mass is here. So the balance point is probably there. But that doesn't help you. Oh my goodness, there's so... Okay, come closer here. Like,
What is it?
there's so much going on there. There's so much fantasy happening.
Yeah, I can't get past the handle bit. That's just like trying to grip that. You're going to end up sort of stabbing yourself during combat.
Isn't that the entire
Not the kind of thing that I fantasize about, but...
redacted?
My goodness. What even is happening? I can understand if you style the skeletons you summon like that, well, sort of like this. You just glue on extra pieces or whatever, or fuse them with different bone parts and metal and whatever to make them extra edgy and menacing. I can see that because you don't have to swing the skellies. They move themselves. If this was like a possessed sword that flies around and acts on its own, you're good. If you have to pick this up and fight with it, maybe hold it by the blade and try to beat them with this end.
It looks
don't
sharp.
That's so excessive.
That's the main thing
I
going
mean,
for
it's
it.
fun. It's a fun kind of excessive. This is one that people have often asked
Is that
me
a Halo
about.
weapon?
How functional is this? I mean, it's an energy blade normally, so this operates very differently
It is, okay.
from steel. And it's not made for human hands, and I can tell that it's not because
Looks like a Protoss
our
weapon.
fingers are not that far apart. This here spreads the fingers pretty weirdly. If that wasn't there, in other words, if it was made for a human hand, it would be a little bit easier to hold.
So what did that alien look like? Because you know sometimes you see these aliens, yeah, where they have like 3 fingers or 4 fingers, but they're like chonkier. It looks like it would work better with a creature that has like 4 fingers or something, and somehow doesn't have a thumb, but they're big and chunky to grip
Our
really
fingers
tightly.
are not that far apart. This here spreads the fingers pretty weirdly. If that wasn't there, in other words, if it was made for a human hand, it would be a little bit easier to hold. Like maybe I can sort of offset it. That actually works.
Dual-handed.
There's no point, but yeah, you could. You get like a special discount. You stab them once, but actually twice. So I don't think that the split down the middle adds anything of value, especially when the 2 blades are this close together. But if you insist on that, why not join them closer to the hand? Otherwise, it's just unnecessarily exposed. If you wanted to make this in real life, Qatar, it's already been done better. You know, it's...
It's like Assassin's
I'm assuming
Creed
they
weapon.
probably looked at Qatars for the inspiration and then made this. Yeah, if you can have a Qatar, there's not really any reason to not have additional support, because the Qatar has the bars on the side that...
It looks too clunky. The only way it really works is if it's a bit like a lightsaber, where the energy is so strong that anything you basically swing it at will be sliced through like butter. But if you actually have any impact and friction, and then, you know, it's pushing back on you whenever you hit something, that's going to be really uncomfortable.
You can kind of brace with a little bit. Usually on a Qatar, you've got this this palm swell here in the center. Usually it goes on both sides. So if you take the lump off and put it on this side to get a bigger lump, then you've got an energy blade. Yeah, very insightful, I know. I definitely do not have a hand large enough for this one. That one's made of foam.
That's a cosplay one.
Right, since I'm walking around here with this sword safety, this is how you walk around with a sword, all right? Just a little bit away from you so you don't poke
pretty
yourself
cool
in the
weapon.
leg, point down. What you don't do is walk around with it like this and like somebody asks you a question, what's up? That's what you don't do, all right? This. I mean, maybe don't run with it, because if you were to stumble and fall, not great. But the problem is if you hold it up like this, particularly if you do this kind of number, you don't see who is behind you. You're just like, hey, how's it going? It's not ideal, so.
It sounds like he's done these things before. It's like learned from experience.
Yeah, just a little TSA, I guess. This is actually kind of a sword, yeah. Like this, I mean, heavy for a historical longsword, but I think I'm starting to get acclimated
That's
to
more of like a
fancy weights,
traditional
so
weapon, I would
I'm
say. Like a 2-handed claymore or something. A little thinner, but, you know.
just saying that because, yeah, I'm just saying that because relative to the others, guy has super strength, so it's fine. It's not a problem at all. Even if you made this 3 times heavier, this is still perfectly fine with superhuman strength. Looking at it, I think I might have complained about the pommel, but it doesn't actually bother you. It's not in the way. And you know, here, this kind of thing, you can't grip it as high up because that's in the way, but you don't have to, so. But there we go.
Ooh.
That's sword weight right
Link's
there.
weapon.
Uh-huh.
It looks like an alliance sword.
Yeah.
It's made out of carbon steel. It has some beautiful runes engraved into the middle of it. It's real leather on
That's actually longer than I thought it would be, and that's what she said. I thought Link's weapon was more like a cutlass. It was like more shorter.
the sheath. It's full tang, it's functional, and the finishing is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a sword. There you go. That's an actual sword that you can use.
That's the
That's a
most
good weight.
practical one.
Good weight, good proportions. It's interesting because it's a relatively large guard, but that doesn't seem to affect anything negatively. It's a good pommel too. Yep. If there was a sparring version, I'd spar with this. I mean, not this in particular because that's a little bit too fancy. I immediately started treating it like a longsword when picking it up just because of the handle length. But I mean, Link uses sword and shield, so...
You might hear some
That's still
vacuuming in the
fine.
background. Sorry.
Yeah. That's good. I do like that. It's a good fit too on the scabbard. Keep an eye out for more videos like this. And by the way, I'm also putting up an about 2-hour-long supercut of all this with plenty of extra footage for YouTube members and patrons of the $5 tier and above. So if you're thinking about supporting the channel, there's a little extra incentive. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching and take care, folks.
That was a good video. Very wholesome. Enjoyed that. Yeah, well done, Flawless. Give him a like. Thanks for watching. Yeah. You know what you need to cover, though? Illidan's blades. The practicality of those. Can anyone make those work? Let me know. Do you think you could if you had Illidan's blades?